Sisters and brothers, gather around and listen closely, for I have a message that is both timely and timeless. In a world where words flow like rivers and opinions are as abundant as the stars in the sky, I want to remind you all of a profound truth. The more you talk, the weaker you become. Yes, you heard me right. The more you talk, the weaker you become. Why? Because in the midst of all that chatter, you lose touch with your inner self. You become a leaf blown away by the winds of gossip, a twig carried by the currents of triviality. When you talk excessively, you reveal your ignorance. You expose your lack of knowledge. You demonstrate your inability to listen and learn. And in the process, you become weaker, not stronger. Your words become hollow. Your thoughts become shallow. And your actions become meaningless. But silence, oh silence, is a powerful tool. It is a sword that cuts through the noise and chaos of the world. It is a shield that protects you from the slings and arrows of outrageous opinions. It is a bridge that connects you to your inner self, to your creator, and to your fellow human beings. Silence is not just the absence of noise. It is the presence of wisdom. It is the ability to listen, to observe, and to learn. It is the power to think, to reflect, and to grow. And when you cultivate silence, you become stronger, not weaker. You become wiser, not more foolish. You become a force to be reckoned with, not a mere whisper in the wind. Excessive talking leads to intellectual weakness. When we talk too much, we reveal our lack of knowledge and demonstrate our inability to listen and learn. When we talk excessively, we reveal our lack of knowledge and demonstrate our inability to listen and learn. This is a crucial point to consider, as it highlights the importance of communication in our lives. Good communication is not just about talking. It's about listening, understanding, and conveying our thoughts effectively. The problem with excessive talking is that it can lead to intellectual weakness. When we talk too much, we tend to reveal our ignorance and lack of understanding. We might use big words or complex ideas without truly comprehending their meaning. This can make us sound intelligent, but in reality, we're just pretending to be something we're not. Intellectual weakness can be a significant problem, as it can hold us back in our personal and professional lives. For instance, imagine being in a meeting at work, and someone asks a question that requires a thoughtful answer. If you're the type of person who tends to talk excessively, you might blurt out an answer without thinking it through. This can lead to a lack of clarity and confidence in your response, which can undermine your credibility and authority. On the other hand, if you take a moment to reflect on the question and provide a thoughtful, well-reasoned answer, you're more likely to make a positive impression and earn the respect of your colleagues. Another issue with excessive talking is that it can prevent us from truly listening to others. When we're too caught up in our own thoughts and opinions, we might not be paying attention to what others are saying. This can lead to misunderstandings, miscommunications, and conflicts. Good communication is a two-way street, and listening is just as important as talking. When we talk excessively, we might also come across as insensitive or uncaring. We might dominate conversations, interrupt others, or dismiss their opinions without considering their perspectives. This can create a negative impression and make others feel unheard or unvalued. In contrast, when we listen actively and respond thoughtfully, we show that we value and respect the people we're communicating with. Intellectual weakness can also be a sign of a lack of curiosity and a willingness to learn. When we're too confident in our own opinions and knowledge, we might not be open to new ideas or perspectives. This can lead to stagnation and a lack of personal growth. On the other hand, when we're willing to listen and learn, we're more likely to discover new insights and develop our critical thinking skills. In many cases, excessive talking can be a symptom of insecurity or anxiety. When we're nervous or unsure of ourselves, we might talk too much to fill the silence or to distract others from our own doubts. This can lead to a cycle of self-doubt and anxiety, where we're constantly seeking validation and reassurance from others. Ultimately, the key to preventing intellectual weakness is to cultivate a culture of listening and learning. This means being mindful of our communication style, being willing to ask questions, and being open to new ideas and perspectives. By doing so, we can build stronger relationships, make more informed decisions, and develop our critical thinking skills. Loss of inner self. Excessive talking causes us to lose touch with our inner self. making us more prone to the influences of external opinions and ideas. Excessive talking can also lead to emotional vulnerability. When we share our thoughts and feelings with others, we open ourselves up to judgment, criticism, and potential hurt. This can be particularly damaging in personal relationships where trust and vulnerability are already fragile. By talking too much, we risk exposing our emotional weaknesses and making ourselves more susceptible to emotional manipulation. Moreover, excessive talking can be a sign of insecurity or low self-esteem. When we overtalk, we might be trying to compensate for feelings of inadequacy or to validate our own worth. This behavior can be misinterpreted as arrogance or aggression, further damaging our relationships and reputation. In reality, we're often trying to hide our own insecurities and vulnerabilities. The impact of excessive talking can be seen in various aspects of our lives, from our personal relationships to our professional careers. In the workplace, overtalkers might dominate meetings, interrupt others, and fail to listen to feedback. This can lead to conflicts, damage working relationships, and a reputation as a difficult or uncollaborative colleague. In personal relationships, excessive talking can lead to feelings of resentment and frustration. Partners or friends might feel like they're not being heard or understood, leading to feelings of disconnection and isolation. This can be particularly damaging in long-term relationships, where open communication and mutual understanding are essential for a healthy partnership. Furthermore, excessive talking can also be a sign of mental health issues, such as anxiety or depression. When we're struggling with our mental health, we might talk excessively as a way to cope with our emotions or to seek validation and support. While talking through our emotions can be therapeutic, excessive talking can be a sign of deeper underlying issues that need to be addressed. Ultimately, finding a healthy balance between talking and listening is crucial for building strong relationships, achieving our goals, and maintaining our mental and emotional well-being. By being mindful of our communication style and actively listening to others, we can avoid the pitfalls of excessive talking and cultivate more meaningful and fulfilling connections with those around us. Power of silence. The speech emphasizes the importance of silence and the power it holds in allowing us to reflect, learn, and grow as individuals. Excessive talking can also result in missed opportunities for meaningful connection and genuine understanding. When we dominate conversations with our words, we often overlook the importance of truly hearing others and appreciating their perspectives. This can lead to superficial relationships where interactions are more about self-expression than mutual understanding. In this context, conversation becomes a one-sided monologue rather than a dialogue that fosters empathy, trust, and shared growth. When we focus primarily on our own words, we risk alienating others who may feel unheard or unimportant, which can hinder the development of deep, authentic relationships. Additionally, excessive talking can stifle the growth of others around us. In environments like workplaces, social gatherings, or family settings, those who talk less are often the ones who listen more and offer thoughtful insights. When someone consistently dominates conversations, it can discourage others from sharing their ideas or opinions. This not only limits the diversity of thought, but also suppresses innovation and creativity, which thrive in environments where different voices are valued and heard. Over time, people may become reluctant to contribute, leading to a less dynamic and less inclusive atmosphere. The inability to listen and genuinely engage with others' viewpoints hampers collective progress and diminishes the richness of interactions. Further, excessive talking can create a barrier to self-awareness and personal growth. When we spend a lot of time speaking, we might be neglecting the opportunity to reflect on our own thoughts, feelings, and motivations. Silence and introspection are essential components of self-awareness, allowing us to examine our beliefs and understand our reactions better. If we are constantly filling the space with words, we may miss out on these moments of reflection. This can hinder our ability to recognize our strengths and weaknesses, and it can make us less receptive to feedback and constructive criticism. Without the capacity to listen to ourselves and others, our personal development may stagnate, keeping us from reaching our full potential. Moreover, the habit of excessive talking can contribute to burnout and mental fatigue. When we constantly seek to fill every silence with our voice, we exert mental energy that could be better used for processing and understanding complex issues. This continuous mental activity can lead to stress and exhaustion, reducing our capacity for patience, empathy, and rational thinking. Over time, this mental fatigue can affect our emotional health, leading to irritability, frustration, and even burnout. It also leaves little room for calmness and mindfulness, which are vital for maintaining mental clarity and emotional resilience. In social contexts, excessive talking can also be perceived as a lack of humility or a need for validation. When someone talks excessively, it might appear that they are seeking approval or trying to establish dominance in a conversation. This behavior can be off-putting and may cause others to withdraw or disengage. It can create a dynamic where others feel they are competing for attention or that their contributions are undervalued. Such interactions can diminish the quality of social bonds, making relationships less genuine and more superficial. Furthermore, excessive talking often leads to a lack of patience and tolerance for disagreement. When someone is overly eager to share their opinions, they may dismiss or ignore differing perspectives, leading to conflicts and misunderstandings. This can be especially problematic in situations that require diplomacy, negotiation, or compromise. The inability to listen and consider alternative viewpoints can escalate disagreements and hinder problem-solving efforts. Effective communication is rooted in humility and openness, qualities that are often compromised when one talks excessively without regard for others' viewpoints. Ultimately, understanding the importance of balance in communication is key to overcoming the drawbacks of excessive talking. Cultivating a habit of listening actively and speaking intentionally allows us to build stronger relationships, deepen our understanding of ourselves and others, and foster environments where all voices are valued. It encourages us to be more empathetic, patient, and self-aware, which are essential qualities for personal growth and meaningful connection. Recognizing when to speak and when to listen is a skill that can greatly enhance the quality of our interactions and contribute to a more harmonious and understanding society. So, my dear brothers and sisters, I implore you, be quiet, be still, listen to the whispers of your heart, listen to the voice of your conscience. For in the silence you will find strength, wisdom, and peace. And when you speak, speak with clarity, with conviction, and with compassion, for it is not the quantity of words that matters, but the quality of your thoughts and actions. Remember, the more you talk, the weaker you become. But the more you listen, the stronger you become. So, let us choose to be quiet, to be still, and to be wise. Let us choose to be the architects of our own destiny, not the mere pawns of the world's noise and chaos. Let us choose to be the beacons of hope, the lights of guidance, and the voices of wisdom. For in the silence we will find the power to transform the world, and in the silence we will find the strength to be the best version of ourselves.